From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordeau, and this is your News 8 Daily for Wednesday, August 13th. Still hot and humid outside. Today, though, you're going to have scattered showers and storms possible. Highs will be in the mid-80s. We're going to dry out on Thursday. Governor Mike Braun says he's holding off any plan to redraw Indiana's congressional districts until he hears from legislative leaders. As News 8's government reporter Garrett Bergquist tells us, some Republican lawmakers are already pushing back on that idea.
Vice President J.D. Vance discussed redistricting with Braun and with legislative leaders on Thursday. The Trump administration is urging Republican-led state legislatures nationwide to redraw maps ahead of next year's midterms.
We're taking a slow, thoughtful process on that. It's going to be largely kind of determined by where our state legislators are coming from. And I think both caucus leaders are trying to size that up. And we're in no particular hurry. We want to do it in a way that makes sense, both for the reasons coming from the Trump administration and what makes sense for us as well.
State lawmakers just redrew Indiana's maps 4 years ago, following the 2020 census. On Tuesday, Republican State Representative Danny Lopez called himself a hard no. He says, just a few years ago, our General Assembly undertook the complex redistricting process based on up-to-date census data, drawing fair maps that ensure every Hoosier vote counts. We should stand by that work. Fellow Representatives Becky Cash and Jim Lucas also have posted on social media they will not support any redistricting. 7 of Indiana's 9 seats in the U.S. House are safe Republican seats. The Cook Political Report rates Democrat Frank Mervan's Northwest Indiana district a near toss-up.
Is it worth potentially putting Rudy Yakum and Jim Baird at risk in an attempt to knock off Frank Mervan?
I think if you did anything like that, it would make sense that you didn't do it, not to mention should you do it in the first place. I think all of that will be thoughtfully discussed among our legislators.
House Speaker Todd Houston's office says Houston doesn't have any comment beyond his statement on Thursday. In that statement, Houston said House Republicans would continue conversations.
The U.S. House sets the number of seats each state receives based on census data, so Indiana lawmakers would not be able to add or remove seats in Congress. At the State House, I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Some Democrats from Indiana are headed to Chicago today to support their peers in Texas who have fled their state to stop redistricting efforts there. Republicans in Texas are amplifying their efforts to get the Democrats to return. Governor Greg Abbott says if the current special session ends without a decision, he will immediately call another special session. The state's Attorney General Ken Paxton is threatening to arrest one of the stars of the Democratic Party, Beto O'Rourke, for raising funds for the self-exiled lawmakers. CNN reports Democratic leaders are discussing how long the long-distance standoff will last. Here in Indiana, Governor Braun has named Julie Smith as Indiana's first chief school safety officer. Smith most recently led the Columbus Police Department's School Resource Officer Division. She says her first step is talking with schools about what's working and what concerns them the most.
We are going to build trust and put out best practice recommendations on a regular basis to make sure we're doing it right when it comes to school safety in Indiana.
The governor says he will also work with Smith to see if state lawmakers need to pass additional school safety legislation. IMPD's chief is reacting to the mayor's proposed budget and funding boost it would give police. Under the plan, IMPD would get the largest share of the mayor's spending plan. News 8's Hernan Gutierrez is on that story and starts with how much more funding police would actually see under the proposal.
Under the proposed budget, IMPD is slated to receive $20 million more compared to this year. The mayor wants the city-county government to spend $358 million on police in 2026. Chief Chris Bailey says IMPD will continue to fund specialized units that focus on gun violence, homelessness, and mental health, among others. A large chunk of the budget, he adds, will be used for raises and other benefits for staff as well as daily operations. The mayor's budget would give the department money to pay more than 1,700 officers. However, it currently only employs fewer than 1,500. Filling those positions has been a problem for IMPD for years. Bailey says recruitment will be a strong focus for IMPD next year.
Tide is turning a little bit, but it's going to take us a while here to get it moving. We're going to have 3 classes next year, hopefully 2 lateral classes as well. So 5 opportunities to bring on sworn staff in 2026 and beyond.
Separate $4.5 million allocation for the Indy Peace program. That's a program that looks to connect people at risk of gun violence with mentors. The Council's Public Safety and Criminal Justice Committee is set to meet this evening at 5:30. However, according to their agenda, they will not be discussing the police department's budget. The full council is set to vote on that budget in October. Reporting in the newsroom, I'm Hernan Gutierrez for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Wish TV and our parent company, Circle City Broadcasting, have launched the YATVAC campaign to help reduce youth crime and violence. YATVAC stands for Youth Alternatives to Violence and Crime. Through the campaign, Wish TV will offer online resources, nightly curfew reminders, and other tools for families. You can learn more at the YATVAC section of WishTV.com. What remains of a homeless encampment in Fountain Square can stay in place at least for now. The Indianapolis Office of Public Health and Safety, OPHS, ordered everyone out of the stretch of Leonard Street by midnight Monday. Some people have left, but crews have not forcibly removed anyone since that deadline. OPHS now says no one can set up new tents, but authorities will not evict people who remain at the site while the city and its partners work for lasting solutions. Texas Attorney General is suing Lilly, claiming the Indianapolis drug company is bribing medical providers to prescribe its weight loss drugs. Republican Attorney General Ken Paxton says in the lawsuit that Lilly provided free nurses and reimbursement services for prescribing drugs like Zepbound. In a statement to Reuters, Lilly says it will defend itself against the allegations and notes that courts in other states have found similar claims lacked merit. President Trump is set to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin this Friday in Alaska to talk about ways to end the war with Ukraine. The president did not invite Ukraine's president to that meeting, but as Amy Kiley reports, the two are set to come face-to-face virtually today.
It is a race to Friday.
President Donald Trump is meeting virtually with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and several other European leaders today. Their conversation is a precursor to Trump's summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin on Friday.
President Trump is determined to try and end this war and stop the killing.
Significant obstacles stand in the way of a ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine. Zelensky wants security guarantees from allies. He says otherwise Russia could attack again in the future. Zelensky says Putin already is planning an offensive as soon as next month.
Putin is determined only to present a meeting with America as his personal victory and then continue acting exactly as before.
Another sticking point involves land. Zelensky says handing over parts of eastern Ukraine could set the stage for another Russian invasion. Trump sounds less worried about that.
There'll be some land swapping going on. I know that through Russia and through conversations with everybody for the good of Ukraine.
Critics say it's too early for such concessions.
We're too eager to get a deal, and that puts us at a disadvantage.
Some analysts predict Putin will use Friday's summit to try to turn Trump against Zelensky. Trump sometimes seems frustrated with the Ukrainian leader.
He seems to blame Ukraine consistently for somehow having been invaded by Russia.
I'm Amy Kiley for Wish TV, WishTV.com.
President Trump has nominated E.J. Antoni, a frequent critic of government jobs data, to lead the agency that produces the country's employment reports. Antoni, who is the chief economist at the Conservative Heritage Foundation, has previously suggested that the government should stop issuing monthly jobs reports. Last year, he also falsely claimed that the economy had been in a recession since 2022. There is no word yet on when the Senate will take up his nomination. Here in Indianapolis, a well-known local man is starting his 104th year. Temple of Christ Church held a 103rd birthday party for Albert Arnold. He grew up in Indianapolis and built a family legacy so strong that the city recently named an affordable housing development for him. In recent years, he also preached at a church. We talked to Arnold and his wife.
And the only thing I've learned, obedience. I would listen to what the Holy Spirit would tell me to do. I think that contributed a lot to my life.
And he never smoked cigarettes or drink liquor.
That would do it too. That would do it too.
That'll help.
The townhomes that bear his Albert Arnold's name are in the Martindale Brightwood neighborhood. Happening today at the State Fair, the Turtles, Gary Puckett, the Cow Sills, and more. Other hit makers from the 60s and 70s entertain the free stage in the Happy Together tour. That starts at 7:30. Fair also is set to announce the top 3 entries in the Taste of the Fair competition. The Celebrity Cow Milking competition is this morning at 11:30. Colin Bailey will represent News 8, renewing a long and proud Daybreak tradition. Daybreak's founding forecaster, Randy Ollis, won the cow milking competition 4 times. He used to say that he was so good that the fair left him out for a few years to give everybody else a chance. Then he showed up again and won again in 2023. Wish TV is hitting the road this summer to celebrate communities that make Indiana special. Today, we're heading to Carmel to check out the summer concert series at the Gazebo. We'll also be chatting with people who live there about why they love the city. So come out and say hello and meet our team. If you can't make it, no worries. You can still tune in on Wish TV from 3 until 6:30. This has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordell. Watch us on Wish TV and wishtv.com.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.